Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Coding My Way In. And today is a video giving you guys an update on where I'm at with my current project using React.js and Tailwind. So for those that are new to the channel, I'm starting my journey on February 1st, studying full-time, and my goal is to become a full-stack developer. And after 3 months of reading theory and learning the basics and fundamentals of JavaScript, I decided to get out of tutorial hell and finally jump in and build my own project. And what I decided was to build something that I like, something that I'm into. So I'm a fan of Nissan vehicles, so I decided to make a website mimicking their website, but add in a little bit of touch of some of things that I would make different, and that would create a version of my website instead of just cloning it. And this is the official website for Nissan, and this is what they have. And if you guys seen my past two videos, you guys know that I'm a big fan of this, of the changes based on the categories and the ability to change the vehicles, and I was able to get that effect in my own website. But I was still like undecisive on what I wanted to do in the middle. I just knew I didn't want to do this, not because I thought it was difficult, but because I thought I could do something different. So again, I don't want to just clone the website. I want to take inspiration from it, but actually make it my own. And I did like the footer, so I decided to keep it. So without further ado, so this is their website, and this is my website. So as you can see, I took similar inspiration. I took the category. I love it, the fact that you can change the categories of the vehicles, and then if you whatever vehicle you click, you'll get that vehicle immediately. I did that through a map array method, and as you can see, you just have to click the vehicle, and it'll give you immediately the vehicle that you click on, and the background automatically changes. And the way that I have that is through, I have my picture, the photo files here, the images, the logos, the thumbnails. These are thumbnails, and even though these are the same picture, this one and this one, the difference is that this one is smaller compared to this one, so it made it easier for me to have different sizes. That way I can just access the pictures based on the way that I have them on the JSON file by using the path. So as you can see, I have a path for the thumbnail, I have one for the image, and I have for the profile photo, which is something new that I added, and I'll show you where I added that. So as you can see here, I was able to do that and make the site responsive, which is very cool. And this week I finally worked on the section that I've been thinking the most. Was I didn't know what I wanted to do in the middle, and what I decided to do, instead of what they have here, I decided to do something on my own, and this is what I came up with. So I decided to display every vehicle that they have with this little message here, and I decided to make a grid of 4 columns, and then as you can see, you're able to see every vehicle. And I did this through, again, a map array, and as you can see here, the car ID, and then the car model, so we can get the name of the vehicle that I'm showing, the car price, so we can get it. I still need to add a car price because, as you can see here, I don't have any, but that's something very easy for me to do. And then I kept the trim, because most of their vehicles are 4-wheel drive and all-wheel drive, and I was able to do that through this map array, and I was able to make it able to make this very nice. I'm very proud of how it looks, and is responsive, as you can see here. If you see, as the size of the screen changes, the grid changes from 4 to 3 to 2, and not only that, I made sure to, when you go to inspect, you can change that responsive based on the screen size to make sure you get in the same content. So you can see it looks nice and responsive, which is what I wanted. That was my main goal. I wanted to make it look very nice when I did this drop down menu. It would still look nice and professional. I wanted to make sure the text was within the container, and it really it was a struggle for me to not just fetch the data. The data was easy because I just had to import my JSON file, and then I could just pass it through the application. What I really had issues was like finding a way on how I wanted to do it, and I went and looked like for different ways people have done it. And the thing is, most of the websites, they have the vehicles but without a background, whereas the pictures that I chose, they had a background. So I was looking and thinking about how can I possibly make this like look as professional as possible. And I kept thinking like all these fancy ways to do it and make it happen, but eventually I really came to the realization that simplicity is a key to brilliance. And I'm like, you know what? Let me get the picture, make it in a container, shave a little bit the borders, and add the small detail of the vehicle. So when you see it, you know what car you're looking at, and you understand the trim. And then I just duplicated that, and it really looked very nice. I gave it this hover effect, and I'm very proud of this. It took me, the biggest struggle was, one, finding the design, but the problem that I really encountered was, so as you can see here, you see this vehicle Aria, and you see this vehicle called Leaf. These two vehicles, they are in two categories. So the Aria is in the crossovers and SUVs, but it's also in the electric vehicles. So, and you have the Leaf, which is in the car section category, but it's also in the Leaf section. So the problem that I was having was, when I was passing the information from the JSON file, it was showing 17 vehicles, but that's not the case. So in context, it's 17 vehicles, but in reality, it's only 15. Why? Because there's two vehicles that are being duplicated. So I knew that I had to filter, and if I found the same ID, then I would make ignore one and keep the other. And that really took me some time. So that coming up with the design was difficult, but the second part was the JavaScript on how to make the Aria in the Leaf car, since it shows up in two different categories. How can I use one instead of showing two? So it took me it was a struggle, but eventually I knew that I needed to filter, but I didn't know how to do it. And through doing my research and seeing examples, I came across with this solution. So I did this filter duplicate car function, and what I did was I used a new set, which is a data structure to store values, unique values. And I had used set before, but I was not familiar in using it. I think the last time I used new, I was using it with date. I was doing like this small project with a clock, so I never used new with set. So as you can see here, the scene ID, it starts the data structure, and then we return the cars filter because that's the name of the array. And then what I do here, I filter each car, and then what I do is, if we have seen the ID, then equals scene ID that has car ID, meaning if scene ID and scene, which is here, we set it up here, has the car ID, then we add it we add the car ID into the data structure. And then what we do is we return the opposite. So if it has the car ID, meaning this, so to make it easier to understand, so if the ID, right? If it has the same ID, as you can see here, it has the same ID, even though it's in different categories, then it will return only one instead of two. So this was easier to explain than actually doing it, because again, I'm still learning, and JavaScript is like a different world, but I was able to figure it out, and I was able to make it work through this. And then what I did was, to display the vehicles, what I did was I created another function that's called display cars, and then I passed the filter function that I did with the car data, which is the JSON file, .cars. Why? Because that's the name of the array. So car data is the name that I have to import it, and car data is the name, and then .cars is the array. So that's how I was able to do it. So when you come down here, I use a map, and then what I did, boom, I just fetch the data, the ID, the profile photo. So as you can see, the photos are not the same. So what I did, I got pictures from the front side. Reason why, as you see here in my assets folder, you see different photos and each different files. This is all for images, but each of them are different. Like logos are for logos, the thumbnails are for the thumbnails, and images is for legit these big images. And then the profile photos, these were the ones that I was able to obtain from the website. So it looks very nice because I didn't want to repeat the same photo type of the same image. So I feel that doing that, it gave a better, more professional look to the website. You see it in a different view, which is very nice. So currently I'm still working on, my goal is now that I actually had 2 buttons. One was for details. So the goal was at that point, one was for details and the other one was for purchase the vehicle. But it just didn't make sense to me to have 2 buttons, because I was like, realistically, if someone is looking and they want to purchase a vehicle, they wouldn't just buy the vehicle. They will want to get more details, to get more information, and see for themselves why they would like to choose a car. So I decided to delete the purchase button and just keep details. So what the goal is now is, so when you click details, it will send you to a separate website, which I'm currently working on. So bear with me. It's still a work in progress. So the goal is going to be when I click any of these cars, you'll get the background picture of that vehicle that's being shown, and then you'll get some more details about the specs, the description, the price, and then eventually I'll utilize this buy button, maybe somewhere here or maybe here. I'm going to arrange things eventually, but the purpose is when you come to the website, you're able to see the vehicles, and then when you see the vehicle that you like, you can see better pictures of it, and then when you click the details, it will send you to a website, to a page specifically for that car that you just clicked. And it's going to look similar to this. I already have the background, and I'm going to be fetching the images that I have. So I already have the images for it. So if you see large photos, for example, you see I already have the pictures that are going to be going in the background. So I already have things set up quite nicely. I just need to put 2 and 2 together, and yeah, you'll get this beautiful pictures. I'm going to add 3 more pictures probably of the vehicle so you can get more perspective of it, and then with the specifications, details, and price, then you'll get the option to purchase the vehicle. So that's when a signing form is going to take place, and then I'm going to need probably to use authorization and things of that nature, and eventually I want to be able to add Stripe to it so you can make a fake purchase. But other than that, guys, this is all I have so far. I'm repeating the footer for each page, and I was thinking, I thought at first that I needed to do 15 pages for each vehicle, but then I did my research and it was like, oh no, you don't have to do that. You just make one component and then you just fetch the data, no different than you would do, for example, here, but you would do it with the images and with the information that I will provide here, and then I can use one component and then just map all that information, and thus making everything more smooth and more professional and not having to repeat the code over and over again. So yeah, guys, that's everything I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one. Peace.